All right, guys. Injuries from the game. Alfred Collins had a shoulder. He returned. Chris McCaffrey with a stinger. Came back for a little bit, but we ended up taking him out. Jake Tonjes had a foot, didn't return. D. Winters got evaluated for concussion, got cleared.
What do you tell your team after this game and after the season that you had?
We were real disappointed with today. We obviously didn't have it today. Credit to them. Try not to harp on that. I try to, we can discuss some of that stuff on Monday when we get back together. But I just thanked them for the whole season, how much they battled through everything. I know everyone in there was sick about tonight and the way that went in every facet. But I try not to make it about tonight when I was in there with them. Just kind of thanked them for what they've done all year, and been extremely, extremely proud of everyone in that room throughout this year.
Kyle, you had on the first drive, your first drive, there was fourth down. It looked like you had conversion. They blew it dead for a timeout. What was the explanation there? Did they say they just got the timeout in, and what was your kind of response?
Yeah, I was upset with it that we were able to run the play, but when it's noisy, I can't totally fault them for that. I don't know exactly how it happened. I didn't know that there was a timeout called, so I saw the play, and so did they, obviously. But sometimes when a coach calls a timeout, you can't get it all the way to the main guy, so it is what it is.
You seem to have some harsh words for Bernardo or some intense dialogue there. Could you give us any background on what was going on?
Yeah, nothing in particular. Just coaching him on a certain play, a certain technique, and just coaching aggressively.
The long game after.
Huh?
You benched him briefly there. Was that related to a play that?
Yeah, we called him over to try to talk to him about a certain coverage, and then we got him right back in.
It's a long game, obviously, but that kickoff return, was that almost exactly what you cannot have happen? And did you feel like you were digging, climbing out a hole after that?
Not totally. If they score on the opening drive, it's the same issue too, So, yeah, it sucks when it's the first play and how that gets the stadium going and everything like that. But I thought we weathered that storm to a degree, It'd be nice to go down and answer right away. We got stopped on 3rd and 1 and stopped on 4th and 1. Then the next drive, we got the ball, we fumbled. So we gave them 2 scores like that and got down to a 17-0 deficit, which was tough and not at all what we wanted. I thought we weathered the storm when we made it 17-6. Was really hoping to go into the at halftime with that score and would have felt pretty good about it based off how things went. I thought them converting that 3rd down on that last drive, they got the one on the penalty, I believe, if I'm remembering right, that allowed them to convert it. And on them scoring at the end of the second quarter, I thought was a huge deal in that game. That made us to where we had to answer on the first drive coming out, and we got stopped on 4th and 1 on that first drive coming out, and really after that, then the game was out of hand.
Your offense performed really well most of the season. Why do you feel it struggled so much the past 2 games against Seattle?
Because they got a really good defense. They got a real good defense. I liked how we came to play in that first half a lot more. I thought we were much more ready. I thought we were moving the ball. But when you get stopped on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, nothing counts for it. And then the next time up, we had a turnover with the fumble. And then when we got stopped on downs in the beginning of the 3rd quarter, then it was out of hand. And then we got away from the run, trying to get back into it. And that team doesn't give up big plays. That's why they're number 1 in the league over the last 2 years and not giving up big plays. And when you get down a lot, and it's going to be tough to get back if you can't generate those big plays.
How do you think Brock played? I think they only had a couple sacks, but he was running for his life a lot.
I thought, no one played perfect. No one played great today. No one coached great today. They got us pretty good. So, but I thought Brock made a number of plays out there. But on the second half, it got away from all of us.
Kyle, obviously this is fresh right now, but how do you process, the resilience you guys showed to get this far with all the stuff you had to deal with during the season and the way it ends tonight?
I'll process that over the next. I'm going to process that a lot tonight. I'll do it a lot tomorrow. I'll do that over the next month. You think about the season always throughout the off season. Tonight's a little hard. I tried to articulate that to the guys so we didn't get caught up so much tonight. Like I said earlier, I'm very proud of a lot of guys in there, and we're extremely disappointed right now. But that doesn't take away for how I feel about the guys in there.
I know he didn't play, but Fred Warner wanted to play, and you had to kind of keep him at bay with it. He was in the box, came down at some point in the game to kind of get the team together. What can you just say about what he was able to kind of do out there to kind of help the defense to push through? Because they had a few plays where they were stopping the Seahawks offense quite a bit.
Fred was awesome on how he tried to come back and get ready to play for next week. But, nothing matters with guys coming on the sidelines.
Well, this loss is historic in terms of 49er playoff losses. Just wondering, to have a season end like this, do you just kind of flush it, or do you think that the imbalance of this loss is going to linger?
No, it's a loss. It's very understandable to see how it got away. We'll do that from a football standpoint, and you evaluate that throughout the offseason. But it was a tough playoff loss, but definitely don't make more of it than what it was. It was a loss.
The third and one and the fourth and one that you got stopped on, you've had a lot of success with Purdy sneaking there. What, just did not like the look on either of those, or what kind of was behind the play calls there?
Yeah, if the sneak was there, we would have done it. You know, they take away the sneak. So we sneak it when it's there, and they played all the sneak. They took up all the gaps on the inside on the plays, and we liked the pass. And then on the fourth down, we thought we could get to the edge because they're all inside playing the gaps to take away the sneak. So we thought we could leave one on the edge to option, and we missed that, and there was two on the edge, which made it a problem to option them.
There's another question that you're going to have to think about some, but what you accomplished this season with all the injuries, the young players playing, does it lead you to believe what's possible next season? Do you start thinking about that?
Yeah, I mean, I always will think about what's possible and stuff, and but I mean, it's definitely the last thing I've thought about. I mean, I haven't thought about that at all recently, and I haven't thought about it all up to this moment. But a lot of guys got to play this year that haven't played in the past, and that should help us for the future. But we'll come in Monday, and we'll deal with all this stuff, put this game to bed, and deal with all the players, and then we'll very quickly start on our off-season plan and how to build this team the best way possible to give us a shot next year.
With Sam coming in with the oblique strain and not going through warm-ups, did you guys feel that you wanted to attack him? And that pressure just hasn't been there throughout the season?
Yeah, I mean, I know Sam with having the oblique stuff, but warm-ups are like that, but it takes a while for the Toradol to kick in, so we knew he'd be fine once kickoff came, which that doesn't really have to do with pressure and stuff. That sometimes can affect how they throw, but usually when that Toradol kicks in, it doesn't. So Sam played really well today, but it was also just with the turnovers, the special teams touchdown, us getting stopped on 4th and 1 twice, which is the same as a turnover. That would actually, I think, be 5 if you count those. And it was a whole team deal.
What can you say about Christian and his ability to stay upright through a historic amount of touches? I'm sure there's stuff he battled through the season with.
I think this was one of the most impressive seasons by an individual player ever, just in terms of what a warrior and man he is week in and week out. Like people to do that every week and to do it for 17 weeks in a row, not getting a bye week till December, and then to do it these last 2 games. Like Christian finds a way every week. He commits himself 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to get his body possible to go out there and compete. And I've never been around anything like that. The dude was unbelievable, his dedication to really empty the tank every single game. And to be able to do that many games in a row is something that I've never really seen before.
Kyle, there's a distinct possibility you may lose both coordinators. What can you say about Saleh and Kubiak and the job that they did this year for you?
They've been unbelievable. I love both those guys. They're 2 as good of coaches as I've been around, and I know both of them will be head coaches, whether it's in a week or so or whether it's over the next few years. But we're lucky to have those guys, and for our sake, I hope that we'll still have them next year.
Would you let Kubiak go if it was a lateral move, if he had a play calling role as an offensive coordinator?
No. He calls a lot of plays here, so he's our offense coordinator. So I don't know why we would let him be someone else's offense coordinator. All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man. Obviously a good team, but I feel like we just sort of similar as the last game in terms of you need to capitalize on third downs and some of those 4th and shorts. That's what comes to mind first. And then, once we get down to the red zone, still finding a way to score touchdowns. And the field goals were great, yes, but I don't know. I just feel like, those turnover on downs were, spotting them good field position. Just feel like that was the theme of the game. Yeah.
Kyle said he was sort of telling you guys don't feel so down. Obviously, it hurts to lose this game, but he was proud of what happened. Can you get there at this moment? Understand what this team kind of overcame?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're fresh out of a game, and our goal was obviously to come in here, win, and go to the NFC Championship game, and go from there. But obviously when it just got taken away from us and Kyle's talking to us just about the year, and you reflect a little bit, it does feel good just in terms of, being reminded of, like, guys stepping up and the resiliency. Like, the character and the heart of this team was unlike anything I've ever been a part of. And so I know a lot of guys were saying that. Kyle said it. Trent Williams, like, everyone feels it, like the heart, man. And so for us, it does excite us in terms of, we're going to regroup and get guys healthy and get back after it. And so we are excited for the future, but obviously right now it just sucks because the loss is fresh in our mouth.
Brock, this offense is, when it's humming, it's rhythm and timing. And today, there was so much of you running around, kind of playground, type stuff. Is that just a testament to their pressure and what they can do to kind of get you guys out of, what you do best?
Yeah. It's no secret in terms of, their style of play. It's, try to make the quarterback check it down and play deep to short. And then within that, have a good pass rush. And, that's a good defense, man. Like, just smart way to play. And then bring some pressures and stuff also and try to make them mess up. So they did a good job with that. I do think there were still some ops for us to stay on the field and grit it out. Those are kind of the wins that we've done in the past too. But, tonight just wasn't our night with that. So, it's a tip the cap to them though.
They have a good defense. Obviously, you have a good offense, but the last few times you've faced them, you haven't scored that many points. Why do you feel like they have your number right now, your offense?
Probably just what I just said, just in terms of, you really do have to play smart football, check the ball down, and stay on the field on third downs. They're a kind of defense that they're not going to give up the big shot plays or when you have one-on-one matchups, like, and you capitalize, you get all the yards off it. Like, they're going to play soft zone and make you go through your read, check it down, and a gain of 6-7 yards and play that really the whole game. And so, they've done a good job with that. And I think, for all of us, like including myself, we got to understand that when we're going against these guys, and that's why it's crucial to, capitalize on third downs and stay on the field.
You look pretty frustrated after the interception. I know you don't want to maybe single out a teammate, but were you a little upset about just the way that happened?
Yeah, we're off schedule, and at that point, I'm just trying to figure out which way Luke was going to go, and honestly, I shouldn't have thrown it. So that's not on him. He got put in a tough situation. If anything, throw the ball away, live to see another down. It's on me.
Did it seem like sometimes tonight and in the whole season, basically, that you would go in games with, or wind up with no receivers, either receivers gone or injured or compromised?
Sorry, what was your question?
Very few healthy receivers a lot of times.
Yeah, but I think, guys have done such a good job of stepping up, so I don't want to use that as an excuse at all. We got a really good receiver core, I think. DeMarcus Robinson's jumped up, Sky Moore's, we got thrown him into the fire, and JJ's a baller. Ricky's fighting his things, but when he's out there, he's doing great. So, I don't want to use that at all as an excuse.
You mentioned you mentioned the future. Like, is this a team capable of winning the Super Bowl next season?
100%. Yeah.
This obviously was a rough year for you with the toe, but after you came back in week 11, you had great numbers. Is it safe to say that the toe you're beyond that, or are you still experiencing pain with the toe after you came back?
Yeah, no, I'm in a good spot with that. For me to go out and play the way I need to play, obviously the way I can run around, scramble and things, I don't think about. Obviously, I'm doing my rehab and stuff with it still, and I will in the off season. But I feel really good with that, so I'm good.
Why are you so confident this team can win a Super Bowl next season, given how the season ended?
I really do believe that, we have the right guys, man. Obviously, it didn't end the way we wanted it to, but I really do think that with some guys getting healthy and what we stand for and how we always bounce back, I feel like our backs were against the wall really all season with guys going down, but we always found a way. And so I think once we're, 100% and feel good about ourselves and learn, then we'll be just fine. So. Yeah.
Sorry, your first drop back, DeMarcus Lawrence smashed you pretty good. Your last drop back, you got you again. How big of a handful is he? And how can he kind of wreck a game plan? But
no, yeah, really good player, obviously. Same with 99 Williams. Like they got a good front. So across the board, like they got guys that are gonna not make it easy. And if one guy doesn't win, then the other guy might, you know. So, like, it's a good defensive front. It's a good scheme that they have behind them as well. So, just across the board, man, they got good playmakers, and it's a good defense.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Christian, should we?
Tom said he obviously knows you're all hurt and everybody's hurt, but he was trying to make it, there were positives because what was achieved this season, given everything else that happened. Can you get there? Can you start to feel that right now, or is it still just a loss?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's such a weird, emotional roller coaster you go through. You know, everything you've gone through with this team for what it feels like, 25 weeks in a row. And then to just end it, I think it takes time to process everything because it just comes to an end. What I will say is this is, in all my years playing, one of the proudest I've ever been to be a part of a team. And it's this team, and I love everybody in that locker room.
Kristen, given all the stuff you guys had to go through with the injuries and whatnot, I know it's probably it's first time happening to me, but how do you process just the fact that you've got this far, with the amount of guys you're going to replace, stars?
Yeah, I think just you process it with time. Obviously it wasn't our day, man. I mean, we didn't play good enough to win, and obviously that stings and that hurts right now. But I think with time, you learn to appreciate everything that happened this season and all the people that made it happen. And again, I feel very fortunate to be a part of this football team.
Christian, you guys have been banging heads since July. How much time do you give yourself away from training before you get back into your off-season grind?
I don't know, man. Probably a couple weeks, and I haven't thought about that yet.
Where did the stinger occur?
Pretty, a couple early, and then just kind of kept getting worse, and have to check out what it is. But gave it everything I had, and just wasn't working.
When you were out on the second snap, I mean, did it happen that early? Like
No.
The first play?
No.
Christian, Kyle said that your season this year is one of the single most impressive individual performances he's seen, just in the workload that you're doing. How much did this season mean for you to come back from what you did and be able to play a whole season and do what you were able to?
Yeah, I think I'll again, just once takes time to process this stuff. This was one of the hardest years of my life, and everything that happened to me last year, and kind of had to overcome a lot of odds. And from the time January 1st happened, I was rehabbing and working my butt off every single day. My wife went through it. There was not a lot of time off, and so again, I think it's obviously we're not proud of the way it ended, but when I look back at all the people that helped me out, and the people that were with me every step of the way and believed in me when a lot of people didn't, I appreciate that, and just really grateful for my family, my friends, and everybody in that locker room. But again, it's just hard to process everything right now. Right now, it just sucks to lose, but go hang out with those guys and on the plane and process it how we will.
Christian, can you just share how challenging it was for you physically to be ready to play week to week? Because I know in the beginning of the season, a lot of us were wondering, are you going to be ready for game one? And here you are at the end of the season, stay healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I think, every year, every week presents different challenges, some harder than others. But at the end of the day, man, we're all going through stuff. Everybody in there's fighting. Having 3 short weeks in the last 4 weeks has not been easy. But, we got a group of grinders who will go out there and fight whenever.
How proud are you of the young members of this team that weren't necessarily ready to start at the beginning of the season?
Really proud of them. Really proud of them, and excited to watch them in the future because, there's extreme upside to get that experience as a young player, and this team is extremely valuable. So proud of every single one of them, and love them.
All right, thanks, Christian.
Thanks, guys.
You mentioned that you were telling the team, or maybe a lot of people, just how proud you were of this team, the fight. Was that to the whole team? Or?
Yeah. Well, everybody's in the locker room.
Yeah. Well, you can just maybe just speak about that. Like, was this season special to you?
Yeah. It was extremely special to me just because I've never been a part of a program, part of a team that so behind the 8 ball, but just found a way to compete every week. We went up against so many rosters that was fully loaded while we were playing with guys that we got, a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Some guys signed at the beginning of the season, some guys signed in the middle of the season. So the fact that we we're able to get to this part of the season, divisional round and the playoffs, and give ourselves a chance to get in the NFC Championship. And we're extremely shorthanded. So I'm just proud of this team, man. Like Christian just said, we had a lot of young guys that contributed a lot to our success, and they have really, really bright futures. So I'm super proud of this team. Obviously, it didn't go the way we wanted to, but the future is really bright.
After getting this far, say about what Kyle did this year?
Coach of the year in my opinion. And not y'all see what he does on game days, but what he does during the week, the message he conveys to the team every week, the way we prepare, the way he has guys bought in to just give them their all, no matter what the scoreboard look like, no matter what, guys just playing their butts off. So a lot of that goes towards Cal because he's obviously the leader of this team, but it all starts and stops with him, and he definitely does a great job getting us started.
Trent, you've seen a lot of defenses in your career. Do the Seahawks and the way their style, the way they play, what they do, remind you of other great defenses in the NFL?
No. We played some great defenses throughout the year. So no, I don't think. What D'Amico's doing down in Houston is pretty impressive. So, hats off to Seattle. It's a good defense. They play two-shell. They just make you have to just dink and dunk down the field. They keep everything in front of them. It's a good game plan.
Trent, after all the things you guys did to persevere to get to this point as you're referring to, what did it feel like tonight as it was kind of crashing down? It almost seemed like you couldn't hold the fort anymore collectively as a group. After, what was that? What did it feel like?
Man, I just feel like you're losing the game. We got to, obviously we went down early. To me, I think that's the biggest thing. You get a kickoff return touchdown. It's hard to win when you give up turnovers and special team touchdowns, and we did both. So it's no surprise why the game ended how it ended. Not in my opinion. Obviously, we wanted more out of this. It just wasn't our night tonight. And you got to be honest with yourself. And we got, like I said before, we got a lot of kids on this team that contributed a lot this year, and we're going to be looking forward to them contributing, in the future. And I think a lot of them will be household names here pretty soon. So, I'm super excited for what we have in this group, the future that we have. And, obviously tonight sucks, but it's not the end for us.
Trent, on that same note, before the season, you said you weren't really sure what this team was going to be. You didn't know. What did this team become, and where do you think it can go?
It became a resilient bunch. We're the final four teams, on this side of the bracket. So I think that speaks for itself, being able to go in and knock off the, defending world champs at their home. Another tough game versus another great defense. And, we made the plays. And tonight we just didn't make the plays. So it's nothing to hang your head over. Obviously nobody thought we would even be here, let alone thought we would win this game. So, at the end of the day, we're playing with house's money when you get to this point. You're playing with who we played with.
I know you don't like Super Bowl window talk and all that, but does it feel more reachable where you stand right now than maybe you would have thought at the beginning of the season?
I never thought it was out of reach, honestly. But, yeah, once the injury started happening, I'm going to take that back. It does seem pretty the hopes seem pretty grim. But, as we continue to play and then I started to learn this team and we all started to learn each other, and you start to realize, like, hey, we have a real shot. Obviously, in my opinion, there was no team that was just clear-cut number one throughout the whole season. So I just think it was wide open. And, I think a lot of people thought like me, and that's why, a lot of people tried to fight, until they couldn't fight anymore.
What's it going to take to break through? When I talk to the young guys, a lot of them kind of mention they look up to you and just all you've done and how you carried yourself through the NFL all these years. obviously you said you're impressed by him, but what impresses you the most, especially with this rookie class, with what they've been able to do this season?
Just because they have huge roles, right? You know, you look at guys like Stout. I mean, you look at guys like Siegel. You look at AC, Aaron Collins. You look at DJ. I mean, obviously, even Michael played. I mean, he was a starter before he went down. You get on the offensive side of the ball. You know, we had Connor Colby in there playing early. He did a lot for us. You know, so those guys with their expanded role, they did great. And obviously, we won 13 games. So I think that's you know, kind of tells it all right there. But they just give you a lot of hope, man. They came in, they bought into the culture, and they, you know, the way they play, the way they approach every day, just, you know, we're lucky to have a rookie class that can contribute like they did.
What's it going to take to break through against this Seahawks defense? You got to face them twice every year, and it seems like they have your number right now.
I mean, ain't gonna take shit. I mean, we ain't got, you know, we down to all the best tight end in the world, right? You know, it's a lot of things that we're up against, not just Seattle. So, I mean, yeah, we split the game. They won one. I mean, you know, during the season, we came down here with a healthy team and we won. I think that's what we can be. Obviously, when you're playing with guys that you signing out practice squads, guys that's, you know, you taking off the street. I mean, you got to temper your expectations a little bit, you know. So.
You'll be 38 next year. I know that's not news to you. But I believe you've already stated, maybe after the Colts game, there's no question about your future. You're coming back. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate.
Thank you.